went to bleeding races, 'twas on the 9th of June, 1862 on a summer's afternoon. I took the bus to Banbury's and she was heavy laden. Away we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to bleeding.
You're watching TOON Army TV. Please subscribe if you're new. The football content is coming back. It will be regular now on this channel. Now that the football is being played behind closed doors, football is officially back. I'm excited. I'm sure you're excited. And I can't wait for Sunday to see the lads back in action against Sheffield United. So this is the preview. If you've never watched any of my previews before, please watch some of my previous ones from the past 3 months. But if you want to continue watching this channel, I'll quickly explain how they go about. So what I do is I talk about my club, Newcastle United. I talk about our previous results, how we're going to the game. I also talk about what Steve Bruce, needs to do in terms to get a result. And I also give my starting 11 just before Steve Bruce does his press conference. So if in this video you see the starting 11 but Steve Bruce calls an injury on one of the players, then I will make the changes down below in the comments, because you never know, there could be an absence. And then I will talk about the opposition. So this week it's going to be Sheffield United, and I'll talk about their last 3 results, and I'll talk about their side, how they go about the game, Chris Wilder, the manager, and players to watch out for as well on the opposition side. And then just to wrap up the preview, I'll then give my score prediction, what I think the outcome will be on the weekend. So stay tuned to that. And if you do go and enjoy the video, please like this video. That would really mean the world to me. So let's just jump straight into it. So football is back at St James's Park. 2 o'clock kickoff. Newcastle United versus Sheffield United. And I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to it. I love games, at St James's Park. It's a shame that it's being played behind closed doors, but it's better than nothing. It's better than not having football at all. And it's great that the season can now conclude, because there was talk that the season wouldn't actually get to its conclusion. But with so much money in the Premier League, I don't think they could really afford not to get the season to its conclusion. Plus, there's only 9 games to go, and it just wouldn't make any sense not to conclude the rest of this season. So going into the game against Sheffield United, it's going to be a difficult game. It's not going to be a straightforward game. Sheffield United have already played a game before us, their game in hand against Aston Villa, but I'll talk about their result as I get towards the second part of this preview. Is it an advantage or disadvantage knowing that we're playing behind closed doors at home with or without fans? I don't think it really makes too much of a difference, if I'm honest with you. I think footballers, yes, they do need the fans to an extent, but at the same time, footballers are paid to play football regardless, whether it's behind closed doors or whether it's in front of a crowd. And I think at St James's Park, it's our surroundings. The players will be used to the surroundings of St James's Park, even if there's no fans. Yes, I'm gutted that I can't be there, but I do believe that the lads do have enough about them to use St James's Park to their advantage to try and get results. We've got 9 games to go, and we have every chance of, potentially causing upsets in games where we probably wouldn't have done if there'd been fans. And going into the game against Sheffield United, like I say, we've already beaten them before. If I bring up our previous result, and that was a 2-0 win down at Bramall Lane around the 5th of December. Goals by St Maximin and Shelvey. Shelvey's goal was a bit of a controversial one, but I do believe it was the right decision, if you remember. And we weren't brilliant on the night down at Bramall Lane, but from a defensive point of view, I thought we defended really well. And when we took our chances, we got 2 goals, and that is just down as clinical. And we need to be the same against Sheffield United on Sunday. We need to make sure that we start bright. Yes, I know and understand that we haven't really had a proper, competitive game since Southampton when we beat them 1-0 down at St Mary's. We have played Middlesbrough and Hull against Championship opposition, but when you play up against Premier League clubs, it's a total different kettle of fish. And Sheffield United will be, a strong side, and they will be looking for revenge. And going into it, I think we need to just continue where we left off against Southampton, but this time we need to make sure that we put our chances away, because against Southampton 3 months ago, we had so many chances with Dwight Gale. He was missing so many, and we only just beat Southampton 1-0. We should have won by more, and if it wasn't for St. Maximin bailing us out in the second half, then we would have got a 0-0 draw, which I think would have been unjust for the performance and the chances that we created on goal. We need to make sure against Sheffield United that we're putting them under pressure right from the off, because if we give them any sort of hint of possession, any hint of shots at goal, then it could be a long old afternoon against a very good Blades side. So I think our last 3 results tell me that we are starting to really pick up some form. Steve Bruce has changed the formation. He was going with 5 at the back, so if there was any Sheffield United fans watching, Steve Bruce went with 5 at the back, and it wasn't really working. We didn't really attack as much, and we were still conceding a lot of goals, which is quite rare for having 5 defenders playing at the back, especially the wing-back system, which we were using, just didn't work, unfortunately, under Steve Bruce. But now he's reverted to the simple 4-4-2 formation. We've definitely got a lot of joy from a lot of players such as Almiron, Richie, Alan St. Maximin, Shelby, Hayden. They've all been playing with a lot more freedom, and we've been starting to get some results. So the last 3 results that we've had, we've taken on Southampton at St Mary's. We beat them 1-0, but then before that we drew 0-0 with Burnley at St James's Park. That's when Steve Bruce changed the formation. On that day, from what I can remember, it wasn't really a good game to watch, if I'm honest. I don't think we were any better than Burnley, and I don't think Burnley were any better than us, but that's when Steve Bruce was trying to use his formation to our advantage, being at home against Burnley, where we could have got 3 points, but we didn't lose the game. That was the main thing. And then before that, we did lose to Crystal Palace 1-0 at Selhurst Park. Again, a very different type of game, a game which Palace dominated. We were still using the 5 at the back, and Lazaro was deservedly sent off that time. But even in the middle of that, we've had FA Cup games. We've got a quarter-final against Manchester City. We've beaten Oxford, and we've beaten West Brom as well. But looking at those last 3 results, we're not playing bad. As I said before, we just need to make sure that we're putting our chances in when we get them. And if we could do that, we've got every opportunity, of beating Sheffield United. It's how Steve Bruce goes about it. I'll be very disappointed if Steve Bruce on Sunday goes back to the 5 at the back, because the 4-4-2 formation was working, and you don't change something that's not broken. And you're seeing the very best out of St Maximin, for one, who's a bit more expressive now, and you're seeing Almiron with a bit more confidence, and that's what you want to see, going into the game on Sunday. You want to try and get off to a very, very good start. I believe the lads have got what it takes to get off to a good start, to get a result against Sheffield United on Sunday. And we've got, 3 games in a row, 2 in the Premier League, 1 against Sheffield United, 1 against Aston Villa on the Wednesday, and then an FA Cup against Manchester City on the following Sunday. But we've got a chance, in these 2 games coming up with both Sheffield United and Villa, that we can actually get, 6 points and be safe. But I think Steve Bruce will know fine well against Sheffield United it's going to be a tough game, and he'll know where their strengths and weaknesses are, and he'll know about our strengths and our weaknesses. So it'd be very interesting how he goes about the game on Sunday. Now, for my starting 11, this is what I've gone with for the game on Sunday against Sheffield United. So it's going to be the 4-4-2 formation. So in goal, Martin Dubravka. Again, a simple choice. One of the best keepers in the league by far. He did have an injury just going into lockdown, but it's great to have him back, and he's a safe pair of hands. At left back, I'm going to go with Danny Rose. Yes, he hasn't been the fittest over lockdown, but we haven't got anybody else to replace him. Paul Dummett is not registered in time because he had an injury before lockdown, but he can't play. So Danny Rose would be a perfect fit. And again, it will give him a bit more time to prove that he can, sustain his place in the side, and he can have a good career at Newcastle short term, and then we'll see where we go from there. At right back, I'm going to go with Javier Manquillo. I've been a lot more impressed with Javier Manquillo the last few months over Yedlin. He's been very solid at the back, especially when we've changed it to 4-4-2, and he's a bit more switched on as well when it comes to defending and getting forward at the same time. My 2 centre-backs, first up, I'm going to go with Captain Jamal Lascelles. Again, why wouldn't you want to put Captain Jamal Lascelles in your side? He's a rock-solid brick wall. He can defend really well. He's very alert. He's switched on. And also from set pieces, corners, he's very reliable as well to stick his head on it and try and get with potentially a goal. And alongside him, I'm going to go with Federico Fernandez. Again, another defender who's been really good this season. Somebody who, has had definitely a better season than last. A bargain from Swansea, and he's got that partnership with Lascelles, which is good, and it's can only give us confidence going into the rest of the season. My two centre mids, I'm going to go first up, John Joe Shelvey. He's been speaking in the Newcastle United TV YouTube channel this week, basically saying that he's confident, he's ready to go, and he just wants to get back to full fitness. He wants to get back to the full swing of things. And John Joe Shelvey, he's great because he plays those Hollywood balls and he offers something different that the others don't. Alongside him, I'm going to go with Isaac Hayden. Again, another safe pair of hands in that midfield. He can defend as well, he can get forward. And Hayden, he offers a lot to the side. And he's definitely had a good upsurge in attitude. He's playing really well. He's probably having the best time of his career, I would say. And after all the doom and gloom of last season, potentially leaving the club, under Steve Bruce, he's definitely found a new lease of light. And he's only going to get better, as the season comes to its conclusion. And he's definitely now become a fan's favourite if he wasn't already. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with St. Maximin. I mean, why wouldn't you want to play St. Maximin? Probably one of the better players, at the club. A player who, if you give him the correct service, he can have defenders on toast. He's pacey, trickery, skill. He's got it all. And he can also, have efforts from outside the box, inside the box. He's not afraid to have a go at the goal. And you need, players like Alan St. Maximin in your side who, can cause a nuisance to your opposition's back 4-5, whatever the way they decide to line up. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go with Matt Ritchie. He's definitely had a good upsurge in form. He's had a few games where he's been a bit off, but the majority of the time he gives 100%. When he's got the ball, he likes to, get forward. He's very confident in what he does. He's got a good, ability about, working, with the squad, and he's not afraid to have a go, a bit like Alan St. Maximin, and he'll make something happen out of nowhere. Now, in the cam position, I'm going to go with Almiron. I think Almiron's been fantastic this season. Ever since the goal against Crystal Palace, it took him one goal. I always said that his confidence would surge, and he's been fantastic. And he's been a lot of fans' favourite so far this season, the way he's conducted himself, the way he gets forward, the way he likes to make things happen. He's one of them where if you give him the correct service and he's in the right areas, he can score a lot more goals. He's definitely a midfielder that's capable of scoring double figures in a season. And with this second season that he's got at Newcastle, with this, the crowd behind him, he's definitely used that goal against Crystal Palace to his advantage. You can see now how he's a lot more confident and he wants to become a better player than he was maybe when he first joined the club. And up front, I am going to replace Dwight Gale with Joe Linton. I think he needs to now use the fans not being there as an advantage in a sense. Yes, we're paid £40 million for him to score goals. I know he's technically not a striker, and for me, he's not a number 9, he's more a left winger. But you do pick him because for how much we've paid for him, and he scored in a couple of pre-season matches, if you like, against Middlesbrough and against Newcastle United's first side. And I think with Joe Linton, he's a confidence type player. But if you can get some service up to him, Almiron and Alan St. Maximin, Ritchie can get the ball in good areas and maybe give him some service. If Joe Linton can get in the box a bit more and make himself a bit more of a presence, he can score goals. There's no doubt about that. And with Dwight Gale, I was a bit disappointed with him against Southampton because of the chances he had. But with Dwight Gale, I think I would definitely start him up off the bench if Joe Linton's having a bit of a bad game. So that is my starting 11 for the game on the weekend. Please let me know what side you would go with on Sunday. I would really look forward to seeing them in the comments. Now we're going to jump into Sheffield United. So going into the game, Sheffield United will be full of confidence. They're currently sitting 6th in the Premier League. They've just actually opened up Premier League restart. They took on Aston Villa at Villa Park. The game finished 0-0, but it's a game that they should have actually won. If you look at this picture, you can see that the ball is clearly over the line. They had a free kick, and Nyland, the goalkeeper for Aston Villa, he basically done a Pickford and he put the ball over the line. And you could clearly see that, they should have won that game 1-0. And talking of Sheffield United, for a promoted side this season, they've been absolutely unreal. They've been fantastic. The way that they've tackled the Premier League, they've had an attitude where they never see themselves as beaten. They want to make sure that, they go out and give 100%, for the manager and for the fans. And I think the manager Chris Wilder takes a lot of credit for that. You know, being a local lad from Sheffield, he really wants to see the club reach its full potential, and potentially Sheffield United, if they continue the way they're going, could finish in the European spots. I'm not saying that they might finish in the Champions League, but definitely the Europa League. The way things stand at the minute, they're actually unbeaten in the Premier League since January, since losing 1-0 at home to Manchester City. I mean, losing to Manchester City, there's no disgrace there, but they definitely play good football and they're a breath of fresh air to watch. The way Sheffield United play is very, very attacking, I would say. They play a 3-5-2 formation, which basically means they play 3 at the back, a bit like a wing-back system that we played before we changed it to 4-4-2. They play 5 in midfield, so they like to make that midfield compact. That's where their joy comes from, to try and get forward. And with that 5 at the back, it gives them a bit more lease of life to potentially get on the counter-attack straight away and make something happen. They also play 2 up front, which I think is always welcoming. When you're a side that's promoted, I actually give Sheffield United a lot of credit, because when you're a promoted side, you tend to just sit back and maybe play that 1 up front. But no, they've tackled the Premier League. They've gone for it. They're playing 2 up front. They're not scared, and they really want to, make, a real fight of it. And they're already currently safe, in the Premier League. If you see the table, they're currently on 44 points, and you never know with them now. It's sky's the limit, and they've got no pressure on them. The pressure now is possibly to get Europa League, but the pressure is just to see how many more games they can win with the remaining 9 games that they have. No doubt when they come to St James's on Sunday, they will make it difficult for us. There's no doubt about that, the way they play their football. And their last 3 results, have been very welcoming for Sheffield United. So they drew with Aston Villa 0-0, a game they should have won. And then they did beat Norwich 1-0. They then obviously beat Reading 2-1 in the FA Cup and drew 1-1 with Brighton. So points-wise, that's not a bad return, but they would probably have looked for more given their result against Villa the other day, if it wasn't for the VAR decision. And you sympathise with Chris Wilder, because it's a game, where if they're looking for Europe, the Hawkeye of VAR should have caught that, and it was a bit of a blooper, I would say, by the Premier League and Hawkeye. And yeah, it's one of them, unfortunately, but I'm sure they'll move on and they'll be looking for revenge. And that's why this game is going to be difficult on Sunday, because they're going to be after revenge after what happened on Wednesday night against Aston Villa. And players to watch out for, I would say, for for Sheffield United, I would say first up, Billy Sharp. He's got 4 goals this season for Sheffield United. He's been a breath of fresh air. He's scored in every division for them, and he's going to be a real threat. Next up, I would say Ollie McBurney, who they signed from Swansea. He's got 4 goals. Somebody who, again, can link up really well with Billy Sharp. He wasn't looking so good the other day against Aston Villa, but again, most clubs will not be up to full match fitness because we've been out for 3 months. 4 goals is not too bad a return. John Lundstrom, he's another one to watch out for Sheffield United. A very good attacking player who can make something happen on the day. Lys Mousset, who they signed from Bournemouth, he's got 5 goals for Sheffield United. So as you can see, they're scoring goals. They're not afraid to put the ball in the back of the net. And John Fleck, he's also got 5 goals for Sheffield United. So they're not shy, to put the ball in the back of the net to punish you. And we're going to have to be on the game on Sunday, because if we're not, then we will be punished. So looking at the game as a whole, it won't be easy, but we need to make sure that, we make sure we're confident, going into it, we're solid at the back, and up front we take our chances, because if we do that, we've got a chance of potentially winning the game. So my score prediction for the match on Sunday, I'm going to go with Newcastle United 1, Sheffield United 0. I don't think there'll be much in it. Let's hope we could do the double over Sheffield United on Sunday. That would be great. And we go from there. So leave me your score predictions, Newcastle United fans and Sheffield United fans, down below in the comments. I look forward to seeing them. And let me know your thoughts going into the game on Sunday. Do you welcome the restart or do you not welcome the restart? I'd love to hear your opinions down below. And if you are new to TOON TV, make sure you've subscribed. Make sure you've turned your notification bell on for regular updates. Also, there will be a live stream on Sunday straight after the game, so you can have your say if you're a Newcastle or Sheffield United fan on the match after the game has finished. Hopefully it's a positive result for all TOON fans, and there'll be plenty more to look forward to on the channel in the coming weeks and months ahead. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you follow my TOON Army TV social media, Instagram and Twitter. And until the next one, keep it TOON. How are the lads?
Hey, hey,